Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of On Tap here at the Cybar Lounge. Today we're looking at Fallout 4, which came out about a week ago. We've had plenty of time to jump into the world and see what it has to offer that's new and different. I'm Stuart Lanningham, joined today by
Maggie Bone.
And I think it's safe to say, are on complete opposite ends of the Fallout spectrum.
For sure.
I've played every one since the first game released on the PC years ago.
And I've played a couple hours of this one.
So we're going to give our different perspectives and show you one of the first sort of big set pieces in the game. And this isn't super spoily because it's about an hour in. And it definitely is one of the cool intro parts to the game. So this is in Concord, one of the first cities that you find after exiting the vault. And we just fought off a couple of raiders who were out here in the street, and they were attacking a few survivors who were holed up in this museum here.
The being him, we being him, because I had to pass it off.
Well, I mean, you had dog meat over here doing some of the work too.
Yeah.
But he's gonna stay out here because he's a nuisance for right now. So yeah, there was a guy up here and he asked for assistance. There was a laser musket lying on the ground here, which we'll pull out and use a little bit once we get inside. And we're going to go in and fight some more raiders and kind of show you what this intro is all about. Let's jump in, shall we?
We shall. Is that the appropriate response?
I don't know. It's whatever.
Let's go.
All right.
What do we do when it's just one like that?
We talk awkwardly amongst ourselves. So one of the biggest improvements that I noticed right off the bat is the gunplay. And I'm sure if you've heard anything about the new Fallout, they've been hyping up that a lot of their inspiration for how the guns handle and all the aiming and everything like that comes from Destiny's success. And it definitely feels more precise, feels more like if you want to treat it as a shooter, that option is readily available to you. Aiming down sights, all of that feels much smoother, much more accurate, and it's not completely based on just dumping points into the accuracy skill anymore. Show off the laser musket here real quick. This is one of the cool new weapons. What you're able to do with it is repeatedly hit the reload button and load a certain amount of charges into it, and the more you load into it, the more powerful the burst becomes. And that's something that can be upgraded as you go throughout the game up to about I think 5 might be the maximum I've seen. It may go higher with more skills dumped in and more perks as you level up, but I think right now the most you can upgrade it to is 5. And I don't see why anybody would just crank it one time, but that is available to you if you so wish.
If you're like me and you don't know, that's when you would crank it one time.
I guess, but it just feels good to crank it, you know? Sometimes you just gotta...
No, I don't know. That's more, you're a domain.
I don't know if this is a family website. I don't think it is.
It's not.
I've put explicit content on every one of the podcasts
that
we've
uploaded, F-bombs.
So fuck it. But anyone who's played the previous games also can immediately see that there's a lot more color, a lot more appealing visuals, and that continues throughout the game. There's dynamic lighting, there's a day and night cycle, there's weather, there's super awesome radiation storms that roll through with nuclear lightning that pops off.
Super awesome.
Super awesome. When was the last time you saw a radioactive lightning bolt?
Not very often, but I'm not sure I'd like to.
Yeah, you can actually die by getting too close to them. which I haven't done yet. But it adds a cool dynamic. If you're out exploring in the waste and one of those happens to be on the horizon, you have to find shelter quick. Nuka-Cola Quantum returns for another round.
Want to talk about your drink? Or are you going to talk about it later?
Well, right now I'm going to shoot these guys in the face, and then we'll get to the drink. The enemies feel smarter than Fallout 3, which isn't saying much, but at least they try to use cover and peek around and move a bit more dynamically. But still, you can run right up on them. And, you know, they'll just keep doing stuff. I am not good with this musket.
I was going to say. Well, I haven't seen you run through with this weapon.
It's a little different because I don't think it, and it may just be me, but it may not shoot exactly where I think it does. One of the other cool things that they've redone is the looting system. Now you can go to any container, any enemy that's down, and instead of having to click through the menu and see if there is anything you even want in there, it just automatically pops up when you cursor over it, and it'll put a plus by anything that is immediately better than what you have equipped currently, which is helpful. But also at the same time, I'm 20 hours in and seeing stuff that has a plus by it, that just because it's better than the thing I have doesn't mean that it's better than most of the stuff I have. So it's definitely a cool thing early on in the game, but not so helpful later on. But the just immediate pulling that menu up once you mouse over it is a welcome change, because you can immediately see that that's empty, whereas in previous games it would be you'd have to mouse over it, click, see that it's empty, click out, and then do that for all the different filing cabinets.
Notice he's teaching me like throughout this video.
But also for the people at home.
No, I know, but
teaching
I'm
the children of the world.
I know. And I am one of the children of the world.
We're all children. So these are the guys that we rescued. That is a Minuteman named Preston. That is an old gypsy woman named Mama Murphy, who
you hate. Don't even act like you have different feelings for her.
Just the worst voice actor I've ever heard, and you'll understand once we get to it.
Minutemen?
But
So
I
now
think
I'm
she's the
traveling
best.
backward in time.
She does what she's meant to do.
That was the idea.
She
Which
is
is
meant
what?
to be really spacey and strange.
oh,
That voice actor does a great
It
job.
looks like I'm the last
He's
Minuteman
a
left
liar.
standing.
well, she's also supposed to be a chem addict.
Who are these
So
people?
Just folks looking for a new home.
just keep that in mind.
A
You'll
fresh
get to
start.
hear her here in a little
I've
bit,
been with them
and
since Quincy.
just enjoy
Lexington
the
looked good for a while, but the ghouls
dulcet
drove us out
tones
there.
that come out of her voice.
Also, this character is mine.
There were 20 of
Is
them.
clearly meant to be me.
Yes,
Like it just zoomed in on her face.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing as me.
It's just me.
That's another change from the previous games. It used to be everything would remain in first person, and it would be just looking dead on, sort of like this, but even more centralized.
Yeah.
And now it cuts back and forth more kind of Mass Effect style.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like it.
Ghouls? What are ghouls?
Wow.
It definitely lets you
You really
see,
aren't from around here, are you? Ghouls are...
like in the previous games, there was a lot of cool armor and cool things that you could do. You know, you spend hours
Just like you and me.
making this character, and then you never
Messed
see
up,
it.
and-
So this is a
Right.
good way to show you
But they're still just
a lot of the stuff that you pick up along the
the
way
ones
and
I'm talking about are different.
take that coolness and actually show it
Makes
to
it
you.
more relevant.
Brains make
Right.
you feral. They'll rip you apart just as soon as look at you.
So when you find that duster out in the wasteland, you
Figured
can put it
Cookville would
on
be a
and
safe
not
place to settle.
Good.
worry about,
Those raiders proved
Not
me
ever
wrong.
seeing it.
Right.
But,
It'd be ridiculous.
well, we do have one idea.
One good idea can make all the difference.
I've kind of, even though he's a good guy and I typically play
There's a
good,
crash
I've
vertibird
wanted
up on the
to
roof.
kill him and
Old
take
school.
his
Pre-war.
jacket.
You might have seen it.
Oh, I was like, why do you want to kill him? He's not annoying or a
No.
bad guy at all.
We're talking a full suit of
Actually, like,
sheer
besides Mama Murphy, I haven't
power.
come across a voice actor yet that has really been annoying to me.
Mama Murphy.
What
is-
makes that power armor so special?
She's not meant to annoy you, but she's definitely a lot different than the other characters. More eccentric, different.
It's the new norm. You'll be strong,
She's just doing her.
tougher, resistant to rats.
She's whacked out
and
on Jet and Med-X.
Get the suit. You can rip the minigun right off the vertibird.
Also, there's a lot of accents in this game that I don't feel are appropriate to the Boston area, but... that may be
No,
nothing.
but assuming they all came from different
Yeah.
places, I mean, it's been,
Now
what,
we're
200
talking.
years?
I
Yeah.
know,
People have
right?
migrated.
Sure.
Only there's one hitch. The suit's out of juice. Probably been dry for 100 years. It
So this
can
is
be
Sturgis,
powered
he's a
up
mechanic, he's telling us about a
Oh,
crashed
you're a bit
vertibird
stuck.
up on the roof that
So what's the
has
solution?
a suit of power armor just laying about and a minigun
A
that he wants us to go find a
It's a
power source
high-grade,
for
long-term
and
nuclear
go
battery
down
used by
and
the
mess
military and
some
public
raiders
retaliate.
up, like in
We
the
know right
face
where to find
area.
them.
But we can't get to the damn thing.
And
It's down in the basement.
he's saying that he can't get to
Right
it because
behind
it's
the
behind a
security
door,
gate.
which,
I fixed
you
it.
know, there's
I
ways to
tinker.
get through doors.
Bypassing security ain't
Sturgis.
exactly my forte.
Well, he fixes doors. He doesn't get through them.
Can't be too hard.
Well,
see
I
what I
guess
can
we'll
do.
do it then.
Is
Well,
the door
alright.
broken? No.
Maybe our luck's
I don't know
finally
what to do
turned
with it then.
Once you jack the core into the
Well, it's
power
not
arm,
functioning as a
grab
door
that
'cause it's
minigun,
not opening.
those raiders will know they picked
So
the
maybe
wrong
you can
fight.
fix that, Sturgis,
Good luck.
instead of being useless. But no, just send the lady to do it.
Hey, you're gonna do it, aren't you?
Yeah. But I mean, the payoff is you get to ride around in a sweet suit of power armor, so suck it, Sturgis. I don't know why I said that.
Well, again, like, he wants you in the power armor so he doesn't have to do all the hard stuff, so... Really, he's the smart one here.
That's unfortunate. So, anyone who's played an Elder Scrolls game or a Bethesda-made Fallout game knows the lock-picking game. It's still the same. The only real difference is just the leveling system and how that works. It's not 25 for novice and 50 for advanced anymore. It's you just dump stars into it, and you can do it at fairly early levels. Like I think I'm maybe level 20 in my longest game, and I've already got Master Lock unlocked, so I can unlock anything. And then there's one more tier that makes it to where your bobby pins never break,
Nice.
which renders this thing useless. It should just pull up a button that says unlock this door.
Right, it
It's-
should. Well, it wants you to work for it still.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Sweet.
You've had
So-
to go through this so many times that you knew where it was.
And then the, as always, the hacking is still available to you. If there we go. And it's still the same thing. You match different letters. You get 4 chances. You can find bracketed pieces of nonsense to remove duds and give you back your allowances and things like that. The main difference that I've noticed going through is there are a lot more areas that are one or the other. Like in the previous game, it was usually there was a locked door and it was master, and then right next to it there was a computer terminal that was also master. Now there's a lot more places that either have a lockpick or a terminal, and if you don't have the respective skill, you can't get in. So that's new and different and frustrating for me, who's dumped all my points into lockpicking and none into hacking. What we just picked up down there was a fusion core, and this is the new system for how they limit power armor, because power armor is usually reserved for like the end game stuff, for fighting the big bosses and everything at the end of the game. It's the ultimate power trip. And they're giving it to you right here an hour into the game. And the way that they kind of gate this and prevent you from just, riding the waste and power armor the whole game is by having them be powered by these fusion cores. And they don't last very long, and they're fairly scarce, and so you can only use it for certain amounts of time, and so you want to hold on to them and take your power armor to places that you know are going to be rough. And do I talk to him or maybe Sturgis?
Hey, Sturgis.
Use up the suit of power armor, then you'll be able to head
You just
back
go up to the roof, right?
We need help. Can we get a vault blower? What are you going to do
Oh
with
yes,
stupid
you're right.
Johnson? Bleed to death?
Perfect.
Bobbleheads make their triumphant return. They're fantastic. There are still you have your special bobbleheads, but then you also have all the ones that were in previous games like repair and energy weapons and things like that. But since the leveling system and the perk system don't work the same way anymore, when you find the repair bobblehead, it'll have like a special perk assigned to it that will unlock, like repairing things around your base requires less components or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it doesn't just automatically bump that skill up anymore because that skill doesn't exist. Like the repair and the energy weapons perk is no longer a thing, and I'll show you all here in a little bit what the leveling system and how that works now, since they've completely redone it, and it sort of changes the way that the game plays. I don't know if it's for the better. It's different, and I like it, but I also like the old way. So here's this guy. Just rusted power armor sitting here. Put the fusion core in. It opens up. And you get a brand new heads-up display. Over on the left, that bottom gauge in the bottom left is your hit points. Radiation is right next to that, obviously, followed by your compass. The smaller gauge on the right is how much juice you have left in your current core, and the number underneath that is how many cores you have in your inventory to dump into it. So since we have only the core that we put in, we've got half a core of juice left. And over on the right, you've got your ammo and your AP meter. We go up here. We can rip off this minigun and begin wrecking fools as soon as I heal.
Up here.
Oh, that guy just flew off into
Yeah.
the sky like a butterfly.
Why don't you get down here? Show me that fancy gun up close. Not a lot
So
of
power armor negates all fall damage. You can jump off roofs. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's super fun. This little part of the game is all about introducing you to the new way that power armor works, and just having a fun little introduction to
Just killing people.
just like, hey, remember this thing that was usually reserved for the end of the game? Well, here it is now. Enjoy. Then also it throws
There he
one of
is.
the previously hardest enemies in Fallout at you right out of the gate. And fight it death. You may have noticed that the Deathclaw wasn't just standing around and loitering, it came up out of the ground. That's another thing that's kind of changed here. A lot of enemies you won't be able to see until you're right up on the area, and they'll come up out of the ground. Rad scorpions burrow in and out. Mole rats do that. And you'll notice how easily that the Deathclaw just fell down. Like, I think this is their way of saying, hey, there's a lot more stuff coming. Like, here's all of the big stuff from the end of the last game, and here it is right out of the gate. Buckle up. Because whatever is coming out after, you know, you just handed the Deathclaw its ass is going to be, you know, much more challenging. Anybody else want some?
I don't think so. All ran away or are dead.
Vaporized. Up till now, I've been playing in first person. Of course, there is third person view still. So if you prefer the over the shoulder way, that is certainly an option.
Don't do that too much, I'll be sick on you. That is not gonna work for motion sickness.
Yeah. Unless you really like looking at your character model, I don't see the real benefit to it. It doesn't aim the same way like the looking down sights. I haven't played a whole lot of it to know if the gun work feels better in that view, but it's there if you are a crazy person.
That was a pretty amazing display. I'm just glad you're on our side.
You guys gonna be okay now?
Yeah, for a while anyway. We can at least move someplace.
So coming up here, I'll stop
first
talking
met,
when
you asked about the
Mama
minute
Murphy does her
One thing you
spiel,
should know
so you
about
can
us,
take in the
we know
full
about our friends. So here, for everything you've done,
weight of her words.
What happens now?
for the longest time, Mama Murphy's had a vision of a place called Sanctuary. Some old neighborhood, but one we can make new again. Why
And
don't
when
you
she's
come with
done spitting her
I could really use
mad
your help.
game, we can go into the perk and leveling system and then talk about the drink.
What would I need to do?
You'd need to stay strong like you've been. 'Cause there's more to your destiny. I've seen it. And I know your pain.
My destiny?
Those eyes. Oh my god.
I would hope. But
Just look at this whole thing going on here.
Your son's energy. He's alive.
Where is my son? Where is Sean?
oh, I wish I knew, kid. I really
I should have
do.
gone the dick route
It's not
with
like
this
I
and just
can
been like,
see your son.
No,
You're full of
I
crap
like that
and-
you've actually been responding how I responded my first time, mostly.
He's out there. And
You
he's
threw a
lying
couple
on me
sarcastic
with
ones in
sight to
there.
tell you
Like at the
where
beginning.
stuff
Not to
is.
Mama Murphy though.
yeah, no.
Mama Murphy's just like, she's on the good stuff.
Diamond City.
She is. She's on the good stuff. She's, you know, not got a lot going for her, and it's, you know,
What's in Diamond City?
the end of the world. So, she just figures she'll live it up and...
Maybe you'll bring me some chems later.
You know the only reason these people are, like, bringing her along and saving her is because she's acted like she had some, like, secret insight to their future.
Preston, we're all gonna die.
She's a smart lady, if you ask me.
We're gonna need this.
Well, I mean, she's wearing fuzzy slippers out into the nuclear wasteland. So
Dressing for comfort, which if I was old and useless in this scenario, I would want to do as well.
That place Mama Murphy knows about.
fair enough.
Talk me through the leveling up.
Knows about it?
All right.
I mean, she had one of her visions.
So we've actually got 2 points to spend. So here's the new leveling chart. You've got your special all up here, and it is basically counted as another perk, and also as sort of your perk gate. So instead of having to wait every couple levels and then using an intense training perk to dump another point into your special, you can just go in every time you level up and put another star into any of these that you choose. And as you can see here, like we have 1 point in strength, and so we have the first perk associated with strength available for us to put points into. And the more stars you have, the more you have unlocked to put points into at any time. Now,
Charisma's my biggest.
yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of the perks, the first point you put into it, you can do it at any time. The only requirement is that you have the level of charisma associated. But once you have a point in a perk, then you get another gate on it associated with your level. So, do you have a preference here where you would want your points to go?
Not really. You can pick anyone.
Okay. Let's do... This is a good one. So we put a point in there, and see, now you see that the next level requires me to be level 18 in order to unlock it. And so it is sort of gated that way, and it doesn't let you get too overpowered, but you can basically have the run of perks as long as you dump enough points into the special category from the get-go. So like my playthrough, I have intelligence maxed out, and within 3 levels I had all 10 points filled out, and so I could go straight to the strongest perk and get that, before I hit level 5, right in the middle of the opening hour. Yeah, but you can see there's a lot of perks, and each perk has 3 to 5. Am I just going all over the place?
Yeah.
3 to 5 levels within the perk, so I think there's 70 different perks, and with at least 3 levels to each one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's over 210 different options and things to put points into, and they have said that there is no level cap, so presumably you can get everything unlocked, which sounds like a lot of time spent in this game.
It does, but it's not like a lot of people aren't going to do that.
No.
You might be one of them.
I might do that. But that'll be a fun new thing to do in a Fallout game without having to go into, the console menus and use cheats and everything like that. Like, play through, have everything unlocked properly, and I think it's going to open up a lot of different new ways for people to play it. And
Back up to the top if you want. Look at those guys.
yeah, we got one more
They're
point.
working hard.
One more point to spend. This guy, he's done his work.
Put one in something under charisma.
Okay.
For me.
What would you like? The chance to never get addicted to alcohol?
Sure.
Speaking of alcohol, this is our
Perfect.
drink to go along. This is the Nuka Cherry, which is the new flavor of Nuka-Cola in Fallout 4. And we will be showing you how to make that in another episode of Ambrosia you can find on the site. And other than that, I mean, we don't want to show too much of Fallout 4 here. It only came out last week. I know people are still getting around to starting it, but I've definitely been having a blast with it. I've put in over 20 hours, and it feels like...
You would have put in a lot more. I take up a lot of time. Because honestly, you would have put in a lot more. We've just been doing other things. I just got him into Game of Thrones.
Yes.
We've been doing other things.
Game of Thrones and Fallout have been occupying a lot of time over the past week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if you like the previous Fallout game from Bethesda, then there's a lot to enjoy here. If you're new to it, I think that it has some problems with the tutorials.
Don't take over my role. Head over to the podcast. We'll
Okay.
make a podcast on it. Listen to the podcast. You can hear my qualms. Because like I said, I started with this one.
Yeah.
So Don't give it away. But there were some issues with starting out. I would definitely not start with Fallout 4.
Yeah. Well, you can hear
Fallout 3.
more about the details of that and the pros and cons of this game. Mama Murphy.
Stop it!
She was just standing there looking at the door trying to figure out what to do.
Alright, on that note.
But yeah, check out the Ambrosia that's going up. Should be somewhere around the time that this video goes up. And hopefully the Chatsubo will already be up. So you will have already heard about what we are talking about. And other than that, just check out all of our other great content at cybarlounge.com. And this has been another episode of On Tap. Thank you for joining me.
Bye, guys.
See you later.